finances, repairs to the parking lot, and a teaser that there's a stewardship campaign coming in the fall. So with that, that's our roadmap. Celie, you want to start with your questions?
Okay, so just to put these in some context here, this will probably not surprise you, but these are not questions to which there is a wrong answer. So you can't answer this wrong, and I'm not going to be like taking note of who answered what. But we thought some of these might just be some things that a lot of us were curious about. For instance, so to get us started, we cover quite a geographical area in this parish. So I thought it might be interesting. Can I have a show of hands? Anybody who is from East Rochester? Okay, so you guys are fighting it out for probably who lives closest to church. Fairport. Penfield. Oh, wow, okay. Victor or Farmington. Okay. City of Rochester. Excellent. Irondequoit. There we go. You guys are all clustered here. Greece or Gates or elsewhere on the west side. Okay. Anyone from further away? And tell us where. Oh, yes. Tell us where, Kathy. Avon. Anybody else?
Centerville.
Excellent.
We're actually from Pittsburgh. I'm waiting for.
Oh, Pittsburgh, I skipped you guys. Sorry. Brighton, got some Brighton in the front row. Webster. Ontario, okay, wow. Okay. Peter in the back, where am I? Oh yes, Peter, where are you from? Webster, skipped you guys. Okay, so we can see we've got a smattering from everywhere here. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a few more questions. These are like personal opinion questions. But for each of these, raise your hand if when I say something you either really strongly identify with it or pretty much agree with that statement. I relate to Mary as the Blessed Mother. I relate to Mary as sister, disciple, first disciple, social prophet of the poor. Gender inclusive or gender neutral religious language is important to me. Excellent. I relate to God as Father. The cross gives me some comfort. Some part of the cross is hard for me. See, a lot of people answering yes to both. I love it. Silence sustains me. Silence is uncomfortable for me. Icons, statues, and what we might call traditional church aesthetics invite me into an experience of the sacred. Icons, statues, and similar traditional church aesthetics sometimes are a barrier for my experience of the sacred. I see myself and or Mary Magdalene as being in some way on a continuum with Pope Leo. I see either myself or our community as embodying an alternative Catholicism distinct from Rome. Lots of yeses to everything. I love this. Okay, John Lennon. Paul McCartney. The Lennons have it, oh my God. And finally, I have experienced what it's like not to feel welcome in a church. I believe in a church that makes room for everyone who wishes to be here as long as they respect others. Amen.
So, obviously, we are a community despite our diversity and also our commonality. I want to talk a little bit about how we serve each other here at Mary Magdalene. And some of these are very visible, and some of these are group-oriented. You know, we have a social justice ministry. We have other ministries that support each other in community. But for those of us who are not joiners or don't like group things, I want to talk about, there are, I want to say a million, but there are a lot of people who do one-off things to support our community. There's a parishioner who brings his lawnmower and mows the lawn. There's a parishioner who does our name tags. There's a parishioner who monitors our social media websites and checks it. There's someone who sets up coffee hour every Sunday. There's someone who washes dishes every Sunday. There's somebody who goes through the pews after Mass and puts everything back in order, puts the envelopes back in order, makes sure the sanitizer things are filled. There's the group activities of raking and shoveling, but there's also individuals who I don't like to rake in a group, but I'll come on Tuesday afternoon with my partner and rake and enjoy it. So it's a little bit about how do we live out our community, and there may be something that you see that you go, oh, I wish somebody were doing that, and the answer is, help yourself. Musicians, singing during Mass to lend your voice. Board of Trustees, John, Cindy, well, Sue, our administrator, Kristen, Pat, give our time. There's the Transparents group. So there are lots of things that we do to support each other. And what we want to talk about a little bit today is how do we live our faith outside of our community? There are probably some of you who visit people in the nursing home, or I'm gonna call on, I see Donna there. Did you hand Donna a microphone? Donna, tell a little bit about your witnessing ministry.
Okay, so outside of Mary Magdalene, there's lots of ways that you can live out the works of mercy. One of them in the works of mercy is to bury the dead. And I have belonged to a group called the Homicide Vigil Group for over 25 years. And what that group does is that when there is a homicide anywhere in our area, the group gathers within the week to pray at the site where the homicide happened, to reconsecrate the ground where it happened, and to welcome neighbors to join us in prayer. And it's a good way for neighbors to know that people other than those living right by care about what is happening to them and care about the sorrow that the neighborhood has experienced.
Thank you. But you had Joyce, you work with the Sisters of Mercy.
Hi. Yes, I'm what they are. There's a group of us called Mercy Associates, and what we do is support the different areas that the Sisters of Mercy work on. As you know, the sisterhood is dwindling in numbers. We are having a lot of the sisters passing away because of age, and not many are joining the order. And there is so much that they do as far as working with the poor, working with children overseas, even here in Rochester, the economy, especially the world as a whole, and they need help doing that. So there's over 300 Mercy Associates that help them in all of their critical concerns. which Donna did mention some of them. So if you're interested in joining, please see me because I can contact you with the right people. Me personally right now, I work in their candle shop on Wednesdays, and we take in used wax, used candles, melt them down, and we make other candles to sell. And then the money that we receive from that, we feed it back into the different organizations within the Sisters of Mercy to help and support their cause.
Thank you. So, the ask. I'm sure there are many of you that I don't know that do these kinds of things. Once a month, I got invited by a church in Chile that does a food link pop-up giveaway, and they need 30 people to unload the truck and whatever. So once a month, I give away food. And I wear my Mary Magdalene t-shirt in the summer so that people can ask about, oh, tell me about Mary Magdalene. So, Renee, you want to?
I volunteer at a food pantry every Friday, and I'm also an ombudsman at an assisted living facility, and it's a position that I got through Lifespan.
Oh, wonderful. When he handed you the mic, Bob, I thought you were going to talk about playing music at the hospital.
Sure, I could do that. So I'm part of a group called the Eastman Performing Arts Medicine, and what we do is we bring live music to patients and families and staff at the University of Rochester Medical Center and Highland Hospital. It's a wonderful way to communicate love and care through the universal language of music.
And I've been witness to that. He's a hit. This is kind of, I'm kind of all over the place, so I just find every day when I'm out that there's an opportunity to do something with either the skill set I have or hook somebody up with the skill set I know they need access to. And I just feel it's just very, I'm not afraid to be shut down. Sometimes I am. But I just feel like I'm able to do this, and I was never really able to do it so freely before. But I just feel like every day there's an opportunity out there, and it's not always the same kind of help, and it's not always the same kind of interaction, but I just feel like there's always an opportunity to do something to help somebody. And it's random with me. I'm not in any particular program or anything,
Right.
but it's just random. So.
Yeah.
This isn't a difficult one, but I find it extremely important. My ministry is the ministry of listening. I find that every day and every moment of the day, we have an opportunity to listen to someone who is going through very, very difficult times. I've done that in a lot of different places, and also socially. I mean, I'm part of, I'm going to tell you, I'm part of a pickleball group, but you wouldn't believe the opportunities that you can have when you're not playing, just sitting there talking to each other and finding out what's going on in their life and how important it was that you took the time to listen. And I think that's, and for my own life, the people that have helped me because they've been there to listen to me. So it's just, to me, it is probably more important than I can possibly imagine. And, I just hope I'll always be able to do it.
Lori, could we come back?
My name is Mary Ellen Baxter, and I am involved with a group called Links for Kids. So if you have inclination to work with kindergartners We meet on Tuesday mornings or Thursday afternoon at School 19, and we're looking for volunteers. We're all, we call ourselves, you know, a group of dedicated senior volunteers. And this year we have 50 kindergartners. So if you're looking to get a little energized also, we work one-on-one with the children. So it's not like you have to do you know, and there's not much training involved, just you sit and connect with a kindergartner. So anyone that's interested, it's called Links for Kids, and I'd be very happy to talk with you and tell you more about the program.
Lovely.
I'm just ask that people stand up because I'm a little short.
Okay.
Also give their name.
Yeah. You want to stand up so everybody can see you? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Lori, since we talked about listening, I was wondering if first we could mention COM, which was one of our ministries, but also how it might be evolving.
Okay. So
You stand. So, Lori, stand up.
I knew somebody was going to say that. So COM Ministry is an outreach ministry here at Mary Magdalene. If anybody does need a listening ear to share whatever they're going through, or maybe just needs a soft landing place, that's what we're here for. And we meet now every other month as a group of COM ministry volunteers, and we were talking the other day about how we miss people when they're not here, and we're growing, and we don't always know when somebody's away, or if they're homebound due to a surgery, or they're taking care of somebody else, and how we can stay connected with them. And we talked about offering to bring communion to people who are at home and can't be here for whatever reason. So that's a new something coming up that we're gonna offer, and we're gonna be inviting other people to be a part of if you wanna be a Eucharistic minister bringing communion to those who can't be here either for a short period or an extended period. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Doohan. I'm with Rochester's Rainbow Senior Rock. I'm one of the major volunteers, but we feed seniors on Mondays and Tuesdays for $5 a lunch, and it's a killer. We do a lot of other programs, and I do put a calendar up when I remember to bring one here. But everybody is welcome, allies, gays, trans, everybody. We'd love to have you check us out, and I'm not going to get into a lot of it, but come and see us. How's that?
Thanks, Amy.
Hi, my name is Barb Simmons, and my husband and I started a food ministry about 6 years ago, and it's grown quite a bit. We have about 10 volunteers that go out every Wednesday and deliver food to the inner city. We deliver it to the outdoor food cupboards, and we have a parking lot where we distribute clothing, food, personal hygiene items. So that's what we do. Thank you.
Great.
Hi, I'm Joyce again. One of the other programs that we have here at Mary Magdalene that I don't think people are really aware of, and that's that we offer spiritual direction, one-on-one spiritual direction. I won't go into all the details about that. If you're interested, basically what it is you can come and talk to us. Everything is kept private, and we can walk with you and do what you want us to do as you go on your faith journey, whether you're struggling with your faith or struggling with an issue at home or in your own life that's causing you problems, being connected to God. So we don't care where you are in your journey, but we join with you and walk with you. We are not a therapy. We're not a therapist. We don't give advice. We just, like Ursula's group, we listen to you and we take what you say and work with you with solutions and how you can walk in your journey a little easier. And it's always nice when you're walking to have someone with you. So if you're interested in something like that or you want to know more, Ursula is a spiritual director. I am also, and Celie can certainly give you more information and direct you where you need to go.
Hi, I'm the other Joyce. Through the generosity of Mary Magdalene, we've been able to offer a grief support group. Grief Share is a worldwide organization. And presently, the group that we have, none of the people coming are parishioners here. So it is an outreach to the community.
Great.
I'm going to put in a plug. I have run across several gentlemen who have been going through the process of grieving. I could really use some compassionate couple of guys where I could set up a group to minister to these gentlemen. They grieve. You grieve differently than women do. And they really need a place to be able to relate. That's it.
We're all called, right, to live what we're nourished here, and then we're called to spread it, to live our Christian lives. And so by letting us know that you see a need, that someone here may be called to join you. So thanks for bringing it up. And I guess the point of our conversation today is to get us thinking about how do we live more fully? We're fed here. We have something wonderful here. How do we nurture it with each other? But more importantly, how do we take it out into the world? And Nina, I loved your thing about every day. One of my new habits is looking at the cashier at Wegmans in the eye and saying good morning and calling them by name. Another one-person ministry, Ted, our sound technician. It's like you come here and it's this apparently well-oiled machine, and then you realize that there are so many little parts of somebody gets here early and unlocks the door, somebody shovels the snow, the sacristan set up everything, and you can be part of that. Or if you're nourished by us, you can take it out into the world and share it. Other popcorns, yes.
Hi, I'm Sandra Imperati-Korn, and I always try, this is small and basic, but I always try to smile and say hello to people on the street that I don't know. People look at me like I'm a little insane, and I don't really care because that's part of what I do. The other thing, the prayer pockets over there, we keep some money in the dashboard, and when we see people that might need it, we will give them a prayer pocket with the money so that they know that God loves them. And that's a way to bring Mary Magdalene out into the world. And my husband ministers to his staff in Batavia every single day who have a different point of view. And it's very hard for him to be in that environment when it gets a little bit tense, but he has a way of, in a kind way, changing the thought process in the conversation. And he would never tell you that, but I'll tell you that.
Amen.
Thank you.
Before, we just wanted to give people a chance. We thought there might be somebody here who is maybe holding a question about, well, I don't know if you guys have a ministry about this or that. So we wanted to see if we could answer anything for you. But seeing you two sitting right there together, Joyce Martelli and Donna, I wonder if I could prevail on you guys just as one more ministry pitch to say a little bit about what the Social Justice Committee is starting to work on for the summer.
Okay. So, folks, the Justice Committee has been talking about offering a meal to the village of East Rochester. Reverend Seeley talked about food insecurity, and I can tell you it is so real for so many people. So we, Joyce and I went down to a church in the city, and we met with the people that do this all the time, and came back with great enthusiasm and said, we could do something like that. So we decided to narrow it down, and we're going to offer a picnic supper in July and in August, toward the end of the month when people run out of food. And the committee is just getting started on putting together what we're going to need to do and how we're going to do this process. And perchance, there is a meeting this coming Thursday on the subcommittee for social justice to put together this picnic supper for July and August. So if anybody's interested in joining the committee, we're going to have a lot of fun, because we like to have fun when we're doing projects. And we'll need the community's support to pull this off. So if you're interested, join us on Thursday night here at Mary Magdalene, 6:30.
Thank you. Okay, go for it, Jim.
Sorry. You just reminded me of the sort of one-off. Our friend Steve Madison belongs to a group that delivers lasagnas. Anyone can, it goes to their website, I would like a lasagna. And they put it together, and I think it's ready to be baked, is how it works. And he said, it's interesting, you have an address, you knock on the door, you drop off the lasagna. He said, you have the wrong number? And they go, how did you know I'm starving? And then you realize that they're not the people who asked for it. It was the house next door. But anyways, but it's something that you can do in your house by yourself. And if you have any interest, let me know and I'll give you the details.
We also want to mention too, because I know some of our remote folks are live streaming this part of the morning with us too, that we know that you guys all have your ministries out in the world, and thank you to our live stream technicians who help us have a global reach as well. Mike specifically. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that you've been wondering as far as ministries that may or may not exist yet? Or I see a hand in the back.
Hello, my name's Brenda Demler, and what I've noticed is bills keep going up, right? Our waste management now costs $474 a year to pick up 2 not totally full bags of tall kitchen white bag, not even a black garbage bag, whatever, I mean, it doesn't even weigh probably 10 pounds, and yet to me that's ridiculous, and here I have a whole empty, so I don't want everyone saying, oh, let's take the garbage to the Demlers. No, not exactly, but if you think like I do, that's wasteful to spend so much for something so small. And I wouldn't mind going in with somebody and taking my 2 bags to their house that still has room for 2 more bags and give them a portion of what they pay. You know what I mean? I think communication is the key to success. And any of us or all of us are capable of helping one another if we think about it and there's something going on. Like the lady behind me said, "Oh, I have this fence that needs to be broken up. Could you come over and break it up and put it in your tote?" And I go, "That's not what I know." You know, that's not really what I'm volunteering for. I mean, if you have a spare bag and you want me to run back and get it and put it in my tote, I'd be happy to. But I don't really want to destroy or make or, you know, get physically really involved. My heart has got a little hiccup in it, and I'm seeing a cardiologist. So since my dad died from a stroke, you know, I don't really want to go there and leave her with taking care of me. So we're 14 years difference in age, so I have to be kind of careful what I get into. And that's why I'm not volunteering left and right. I have picked up the garbage on streets all my life, and I've picked up so many cigarette butts. I would like to take the, no, I won't tell you where. I know there's a lady present, a God-fearing woman who I don't want to throw anything out there inappropriate. But gee, people, if you have, you know, a cigarette, especially don't throw it lit out the window. There's certain times of the year when forest fires happen all over. I lived in California, and it was a big, big deal there, and a big, big threat. And we have the beautiful Adirondacks and so forth and so on. I live near some woods, and I'm always leery of, you know, and by the number of, I've picked up 100 cigarette butts between my house and the post office.
Good reminder, Brenda. Thank you. We have to wind down a little bit now because we have only about 15 minutes left. But thanks for starting that discussion. Maybe it can continue. Anybody else with a question?
I just have a quick question. Excuse me. About the box and food for that. Food bringing.
Yes, the food box.
Yeah, the food box. So I have problems I can't carry things because of my back. So my husband's a hoarder. So I'm going to go down in the cellar and get some of the stuff. If he won't miss it. And so if I bring those in, who do I go to help me? Like.
You got a hand raised there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm always willing to come to your car and schlep your bag.
Okay.
I will too,
Ginny.
if I'm here.
Yes, okay, I'm Bonnie.
If anybody wants to just bring in a donation, you're always welcome to just put it outside of Sue's office in the hallway. Sue, the church secretary and administrator. Just put it in the hallway, and either she will put it in our storage area, or I will take care of it, and then we fill the box out front. But never feel like you have to stock it yourself. We're always willing to come to your car and get that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, guys. Okay, are we ready for the awkward transition to the business portion?
We've been forewarned. So I have the blessing of being the treasurer for the board. It was one of those things where they said, "Who wants to be treasurer?" And everybody took a step back. It's like, oh, I guess it's me. So just, it's a big grief. But I'll say that our budget picture has evolved significantly over the 17 years from our grassroots beginning. Thank you, Denise. As many of you know, Mary Magdalene started with services at Mountain Rise Church, and then we were renting a former bank storefront down here on Main Street. And at that point, it was BYOC, bring your own chair, because we had a space, but we didn't have furniture. So obviously, the budget has changed significantly. 11 years ago, this community made the bold choice to buy this building. And it was just 4 years ago that this community voted and agreed to commit to the financial burden of supporting a living wage for a full-time pastor. Graciously, Denise had not asked for a full-time wage all those years. But, so we have always been able to sort of meet the needs that were in front of us, but hopefully we're on the threshold to move from the mentality of getting by to one of abundance, so that we can increase our gifts to the greater community by growing our ministries. So, where we stand today, our fiscal year runs from October 1st to September 30th. So at the end of March, we are 6 months through this fiscal year. And this year, we're approximately $20,000 ahead of budget. Yay. So the Board of Trustees approved our balanced budget for this current fiscal year of $170,000. And that was lower than the previous 2 years, but in the previous 2 years, we had a capital campaign, some of you may know about, but we had a capital campaign where we raised $40,000 to upgrade our furnaces, our electrical service, and the controls for our handicap lift. And hopefully, we said this year, let's hopefully just get through our regular year. So the $170,000, where does it come from? 85% of that, $145,000, comes from collections. $17,000, about 10%, comes from fundraising. Our rummage sale, our concerts, our money ball, the gala from last year. And the remaining 5% are miscellaneous. We charge rent for some of our rooms that are used by other groups, memorials. This year, we started a savings account, and so we have savings account interest now. We never had a savings account before. And expenses, 60% roughly is for salaries. We have $82,000 for our pastor's package, which is salary and benefits, $25,000 for our administrative assistant. 30% of our expenses, about $50,000 a year, is for we call building and property, which is our mortgage, which is $12,000 a year and will be paid off in 4 years. Woohoo! Isn't that amazing? Time flies. Maintenance, utilities, insurance is in that category. And then the remaining 10% is administrative costs, the cost of everything for running the office, paper, postage, pastoral care, and ministry expenses. So you can think about our picture of, in the beginning, the money was just like 100% of our funding was to survive. And then over time, less is spent on surviving and more is spent on ministry. And we're hoping that we're going to be growing so that we will be not so worried, like I said, changing the mentality of getting by to we have abundance. How do we want to share this with the greater community? Our current bank balance is $84,000. Yay. That's about half in checking, half in savings. And we anticipate our next capital expenditure, as you can all imagine, will address repairs to the parking lot. And we are currently getting bids for that work. And so as our ministerial efforts flower, we anticipate that next year's budget may grow accordingly. And so this fall, you will be hearing about a stewardship campaign. And in that process, we hope to acknowledge our culture that we all recognize of how we welcome everyone, welcoming the stranger, and how we are generous. And so we're going to hopefully sort of, in our discussion of the stewardship campaign, say how are we going to share our talents and resources to further our relationship with the greater community outside of the walls of this church, and to encourage us to develop our greater vision. So those will be discussions in our next community forum. And for those of you who want fiscal details, Mike, I know you are. I have copies of our budget and a comparison. It's all the details of our budget and where we are 6 months through the fiscal year. So if anybody's interested in that sort of granular detail, I'm willing to share. All right, thank you. Any questions?
Is the parking lot going to be expanded?
We are exploring that option. The soil behind the parking lot is, the reason why the back of the parking lot has denigrated is because of the old tree roots and whatever, and after where the paving stops, it's really just mushy ground. So part of what we're working with the contractors is what would be the cost to make that viable. So we're looking at that option.
Hi, what's the budget impact for the hire of the new music director?
We have a salary, I think, of $12,000 a year that we've budgeted. That starts in July. Yeah. Yeah. And pointing that out just makes me so grateful that we've had this wonderful music ministry with you all as volunteers. So thank you. You are the best at finding the right song for that Sunday's message. Thank you. Oh, there's another question.
I just wondered, I just wondered if there's a plan in optimism for expansion.
That is happening. I mean, the churches, we have people in the back and folding chairs, and and this is not a big time of year. So I just wonder if there's any thought or discussion around that.
I'll say there's certainly awareness. This is all, it's really sort of new. I mean, the change in Sunday attendance in the last 6 months, is sort of new to us. And so, yes, we're aware of it. We haven't started a thought of an addition yet. Bob?
Just to comment, because I sit up in front, I sort of count and see what's going on. So for folks who are new, before COVID, we had about 25 or 35 people on a Sunday. Come August of this past year, August of 2025, we were up to about 60 to 70. And now we're well over 100 plus.
Yes.
That's something to think about.
Yes. Yeah.
One more thing, you're probably aware of this, but on the roof, in the back, you probably can see we have a lot of moss growing on that. And if we don't do something about that, it will damage the roof.
Yes.
I mean, I would climb up and do it myself, but I'm kind of old for that.
We don't want you on a ladder, Peter. But thank you for offering. We'll find somebody to do that for us.
Never mind.
Just a quick question. For our neighbors at the Christian Science Church, do we have any sort of arrangement with them other than thanking them? Or is there a way that we could thank them more robustly?
Thanks for bringing that up. Yes, they're very generous to let us use the back of their lot. And it's just a neighborly agreement, but we did use funds last month to send them a gift, a financial gift to say thank you. Thanks for, Thanks for noticing that.
I just had a question. Instead of, at this point, increasing the physical space, is there a possibility of a second Sunday Mass or Saturday and Sunday?
That is certainly the question at the forefront of, I think, all of our minds. Thanks, Barb. And it is certainly under discussion by the board. I think the factors immediately coming up that will impact how quickly we might move toward that option are the arrival of our music director. Of course, something will depend on assessing his availability. The others are to see how our stewardship season goes. That, of course, has an impact on our ability to do that. As well as that's why we're talking about everybody embracing a sense of being a minister today, because to have a second Mass also means people have to serve at it. So you got me, but we got to set up an altar and potentially run a live stream, give communion, have readers. So we have to see how we're all doing with that mindset. But it's on everybody's radar.
I'm just wondering, would it help if we had a ministry of ushers on Sunday morning? Because I know that people end up toward the back, but there's...
Raise your hand, ushers.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even know that. Thank you.
The crew could always expand, of course.
And one thing, I'm Denise Donato. One thing, as we look at our budget for next year, in the very beginning, as a community, we really try to set aside a particular portion of our income for tithing. And I'm wondering if we can consider that again. As we have grown, there are certainly the hands-on ways and the many, many ministries that we do. But another way is to think about tithing a particular portion. We were not able to hang on to that for long because we were hand to mouth. but yeah, I would hope that we could consider that. Yes.
I just wanted to say for myself personally, electronic tithing helped us a lot, because when on the weeks we weren't here and we were going to church somewhere else, our giving kept going here. And that was a way to offer money that you could count on, other than just the Sundays that we were here. So that worked for us. I don't know if it will work for other people.
And I just want to clarify, the tithing I was speaking about was from our community, what we take in. But yes, both are. Yes, I realize with your, yes, what we take in as a community, to tithe a portion of that.
Yes. And I will just add, as long as we're on this particular discussion, that number you heard as to our budget this year, for a church of our size, that is really a shoestring. So just to give everybody a sense of where we are, for our size, we're looking at being quite small in staff. So that's also a consideration. So there will be a lot of things to consider as we have our stewardship season.
Hello, I'm Phil Donato. I'm Denise's husband. For those of you that don't know me, I'm much quieter and take a very low profile. It just brings up a good point with the roof when you see the moss on the roof and things. 11 years ago, was it? Whatever it was when we got this building, I kind of took on the kind of impromptu building maintenance guy. And I've learned a lot about the building, but I'm not getting any younger either. So I don't like going on roofs or climbing ladders. And a thought I had is, if anybody in the congregation knows, and unfortunately we don't have a whole lot of young people that are joining our congregation, if anybody knows like a general contractor that might want to donate some time, or give us a good rate to do the work, the building is in really good shape, but there is always something. And I feel it's our responsibility to do the diligence to maintain it and do that. Yet, I can't physically do it anymore. So if you know somebody, contact Celie or Jim or Sue. It's not a full-time type thing, but things always come up. And if we had a contact person, something as crazy as, a switch breaks or something, can you come in and do an hour job for us, It'd be nice to have that kind of contact.
I'd like to add to that a little bit. We just had an occurrence in the back, these doors, and Phil knows more than anybody that we've tried and tried to get those doors to shut. They don't always shut, so sometimes we have to lock them. And there's a little sign that says, please shut the door and make sure it's shut when you leave. Okay, especially if you know you're the last ones out of here. But it's a good practice to know, because we have had times where someone has come and gotten in the building, shocked that it was unlocked. It was easy, anyone could have gotten in. So it's one of those things that comes up. There's nothing we can do with these doors except accept them the way they are and close them when we have to. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you being here, and it helps us more than we could say just to hear from you guys and know that you're keeping up with the running of this place and all that we're up to. So there's going to be a lot of exciting things coming up. As you can tell, this is kind of a time of being able to have some new initiatives. So I'm so glad that everybody is here, and I think we can look forward to a beautiful summer and upcoming fall. So thanks for coming, everybody.